On this day in military history, November 15th, one of the most famous campaigns of the American Civil War began, and the turning points of both the Pacific and Eastern fronts in World War II were reaching their brutal climaxes. 1864. Sherman's March to the Sea begins. After capturing and neutralizing the key Confederate city of Atlanta, Union Major General William Tecumseh Sherman began his Savannah campaign, famously known as the March to the Sea. On this day, his forces cut their supply lines from the north and began their 285-mile advance toward the port of Savannah. Significance. This campaign was the first major modern example of total war. Sherman's objective was not simply to defeat a Confederate army, but to destroy the South's economic infrastructure and its psychological will to continue the fight. His army of 60,000 men destroyed railroads, burned farms, and seized supplies, inflicting an estimated $100 million in damage. The march devastated Georgia, crippled the Confederacy's ability to wage war, and was a major factor in bringing the Civil War to an end just 5 months later. November 15th, 1942. Climax of the Naval Battle of Guadalcanal. This date marks the climax and conclusion of the multi-day naval battle of Guadalcanal. In a final, desperate night action, November 15th, 1941, the final German offensive on Moscow begins. On the Eastern Front, German Army Group Center launched its final, desperate offensive, part of Operation Typhoon, to capture Moscow. After being stalled for weeks by the Rasputitsa, the autumn mud season, the ground had finally frozen solid, allowing German panzers to move again. Significance. This was the last gasp of the German Blitzkrieg in 1941. German forces, though exhausted and suffering from the extreme cold, pushed to the very outskirts of Moscow. This final offensive would ultimately fail, shattered by rock-solid Soviet resistance, logistical collapse, and a massive, unexpected Soviet counteroffensive in early December. The failure to take Moscow was Hitler's first major land defeat of World War II, and the decisive turning point on the Eastern Front. Thanks for visiting Let's Talk Tech. For more cool, tactical, and informative videos, click like, subscribe, and don't forget to share.